Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the Daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 12th to 16 March 2024, brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. Mentioned here are the list of articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look into it. Okay, let's analyze every article one by one in the upcoming slides. Citizenship Amendment Act issues in the legal challenge to the citizenship law. So what is the Citizenship Amendment Act and what is the challenge or the legal challenge right now it has been facing? Before that, before analyzing the news, let's look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to Indian polity, governance constitution, political system, Panchayat Raj public policy. Similarly, under mains, it comes under GS paper 2, Indian polity through subtopic called government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues relating to issues arising out of their design as well as implementation. So this is how the news has been related with examination. Let's look into the analysis of the news. So the Ministry of Home Affairs has notified rules to implement the law. What law? It is the Citizenship Amendment Law. The CIA is under challenge in the Supreme Court, and this is what the news is about. Okay, let's look into what is this law and what are the legal challenges it is been facing right now before the Supreme Court. So the citizenship law, the Parliament has passed the amendment to Citizenship Amendment Act 1955 during the time 2019 to include a provision for grant of citizenship to migrants, those who are belonging to communities like Hindus, Sikh, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis or Christian communities, and they need to be entered before December 2021 31st the date from the countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan as well as Bangladesh. So these community people, those who have been migrated from the three countries, they will be that too before 31st December 2024, they will be given citizenship under the Amendment Act. And the amendment relaxed the eligibility criteria for certain classes of migrants, those who are coming from the three neighboring Muslim majority countries. Certain categories of areas like tribal areas that is present in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura are protected by or exempted from it, and those regions that has been protected by inner line system are also exempted from the Amendment Act 2019, and the law was notified in 2020, and in 21 the central government issued an order under section 16 of the Citizenship Act 1955. What is the order is that it gave the district collectors in 13 districts with high migrant population the power to accept the citizenship application from the group that has been identified under the 2019 amendment law. And what is the legal challenge it has been facing? The amendment was challenged in the Supreme Court by a political party called Indian Union Muslim League, and since then more than 200 petitions have been filed before the Supreme Court, and in 2022 Supreme Court said the final hearing will be heard before or during December 22, but the case hasn't been heard since then. And so what is the legal implication right now it has been facing? So the challenge to the Citizenship Amendment Act is that it violates the Article 14 of the Constitution. That is, it is acting against the right to equality principle enshrined in the Article 14 of the Constitution. The petitioners say using religion as the criteria to filter as the qualifier for the citizenship means it is directly attacking the right to equality principle under Article 14. And the court will have to look into whether the special treatment given to the so-called persecuted minorities from the Muslim majority countries, from the neighboring country, is the reasonable classification or not. So based on this only the final judgment will be arrived. And the Supreme Court has also said that the law has clear two legal hoops to pass the equality test. First is any differentiation between the groups of person must be founded on an intelligible differentia, and then that differentia must have a rational nexus to the object sought to be achieved by the state. So there need to be intelligent differentia, and that differentia need to be in tune with the reasonable objective that has been set by the state. So these are all the two legal hoops that need to be crossed by the Amendment Act according to the Supreme Court. So the government has said that the Muslims have been excluded from the group because the persecuted minorities from the Pakistan, Afghanistan as well as Bangladesh is made because they are the Islamic countries where Muslims are in majority. So based on this only, a category called persecuted minorities in the countries are categorized under the Citizenship Amendment Act. However, it will be tested whether these three countries were picked to neglect the Muslims. Why? Because there are other countries like Sri Lanka, Myanmar, where the minorities like Tamil Hindus as well as Ahmadiyas, Hazaras as well as Rohingya Muslims, who are the minority Muslims in their countries, they are also being under persecution by their respective countries, and they are not included under the Citizenship Amendment Act. Whether this the Supreme Court will be probing through the Amendment Act, whether these three countries are being selected to keep the Muslims out of the country. So such kind of testing will be made by the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court can strike down a classification if it violates the right to equality principle, and also if it finds that it is arbitrary in nature. So recently in the electoral bond scheme, Supreme Court has struck down the electoral bond scheme because it violated the right to equality because of its arbitrariness in nature. So what is the Citizenship Amendment law and what is the relationship it has with the Assam? So other challenge that apart from the right to equality principle, another challenge right now the Citizenship Amendment Act is facing is Section 6A of the Citizenship Act 1955. So it was inserted in the Citizenship Act after signing of the Assam Accord between the center and the leader of the Assam movement in 1985. The Accord determines who is the foreigner in the state of Assam. So the clause 5 of the Accord states that, or it sets the line of January 1, 1966 as the cutoff date, based on which the citizenship will be awarded to those migrants who have been migrated to the Assam. But in the case of Section 6A of the Amendment Act, the date that has been set as between January 1, 1966 and March 25, 1971. So we could able to see that there is a contradictory between the cutoff date that has been mentioned in the Accord as well as the cutoff date that has been mentioned in the Amendment. This conflict is also being challenged before the Supreme Court, apart from the right to equality principle. So this is what the Citizenship Amendment Act, and this is what the legality issues that it has been facing before the Supreme Court, and the further analysis of the news support. And what are the things which we needed to be further aware of is, we should be aware of what is Citizenship Act and constitution provision for the citizenship, and what is the foreigners tribunal, and what is the legal backup it has, and what are all the structure it holds, and what is the current situation right now thus foreigner tribunal is facing. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. GI tag for the ASSAM'S MAJULI mask, history of the art form. So recently the MAJULI mask has been given GI tag. This MAJULI mask is from the Assam. So what is the MAJULI mask, and what is the analysis of it, and what is the historical aspect of it, and how it has been related with the examination? Let's look into it while we are seeing the upcoming slides. Okay. How the news has been related with the examination, that is the relation of the news with the exam. Under prelims, the news was related to current events of national as well as international importance. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with awareness in the field of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotech, biotech, and issues relating to IPR, which comes under GS paper 3, science and technology. So the traditional MAJULI mask of Assam were given a GI tag by center. MAJULI manuscript painting also got the GI label along with it. So a GI tag is the tag that has been given to a product which is originating from a specific geographical region, and also it signifies the unifying or it signifies that the product has a unique characteristic which sets apart from the other similar products. It serves as the trademark in the international trade market, and Majuli, the largest river island in the world and the seat of Assam Neo-Vaishnavite tradition, has been home to the mask making since 16th century AD. So let's look into the details of the Majuli mask. So the handmade masks are traditionally used to depict characters in baunas or the theatrical performance. The baunas are the theatrical performance in the theatrical performance tradition in the Assam, with devotional message under the Neo-Vaishnavite tradition, and it has been introduced by 15th to 16th century AD by Saint Srimata Shankaradeva. And the mask can depict goddesses, demons, animals as well as birds like Ravanas, Garudas, Narasimha, Hanuma, Varha, Surpanaha of all features, and they can range in size from those masks that is covering only the face and to the mask that is covering the entire body. The mask that covers the face and its makeup time is the time required to make such a kind of mask is 5 days, and the mask which covers the entire body, the time required to make such a kind of mask will be taking around 1.5 months. So such is the type of the mask is about. So according to the application made on the patent or the application made for the GI tag, the masks are made of bamboos, clay, dung, sand which has been bought out from the riverine island. So this is what the speciality of the mask is about. Let's look into the practice in the monasteries. See, sataras are the monastic institutions established by Srimata Shankaradeva and his disciplines of centers of religious, social, cultural reforms, and they also center of traditional performing arts such as Borgid, that is songs, Kshatriya, that is dance, and Baunas, that is theatre, which are the integral part of Shankaradeva tradition. Majuli has 22 sataras, and the patent application states that the mask making tradition is concentrated in only 4 out of the 22 sataras, that is Shamaguri sataras, Natun Samaguri sataras, Bimpur sataras, Alangi Narasimha sataras. So these are all the 4 type of sataras under which the mask making tradition has been focused. The masks were traditionally made only for Baunas, that is the theatrical performance of Assam, but for the past 2 decades, the Samaguri sataras have been trying to emulate the mask making as a part of their tradition. So this is what the mask is about, or the practice that has been followed in the monasteries about. Let's look into the Majuli paintings. It is a form of painting also originated in 16th century AD, done on the Sanchi pot, or the manuscript made of the bark of the Sanchi tree or the agar tree, which using the homemade ink. And this art was patronized by the Ahom kings. So what need to be studied further is we should be aware of WTO, its structure, function, as well as the mandate. Secondly, we should also be aware of the Patent Act of India, and thirdly, we should also be aware of the different types of patents that has been awarded by Government of India, as well as the international organizations. And fourthly, we should also be aware of the structure, function, as well as mandate of World Intellectual Property Organization. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. The first autonomous artificial intelligence software engineer, meet DEVIN. So DEVIN named, who is the artificial intelligent software engineer, it has been made by US based AI lab Cognition. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the details of the news. Before that, let's look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to general science. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 3, science and technology, through a subtopic called awareness in the field of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotech, biotech, as well as issues relating to IPM. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So US-based applied AI lab Cognition has introduced world's first AI software engineer. And this engineer has been named as DEVIN, and engineers can focus on more interesting problems, and engineering teams can strive to set up the more ambitious goals. So what can the DEVIN do? So the AI agent comes with advanced capabilities in software development, which includes coding, debugging, problem solving, etc. And it uses machine learning algorithms to constantly learn and improve its performance and adapt according to new challenges. It can build as well as deploy apps end to end, and can also train as well as fine tune its own AI models. It can play and execute complex engineering tasks that would require thousands of decisions, and it can recall relevant context at each step, self-learn over time, even fix the mistakes. And the makers have also handed out that AI software engineers with the ability to proactively collaborate with the users, and it reports progress in the real time, and it is capable of accepting the feedback and work along with the user through the design choices as needed. So performance of DEVIN. So how the DEVIN performance has been measured. So on the benchmark named SWE benchmark, which is a benchmark used for evaluating the large program model and the real world software platform. DEVIN, based on this benchmark, DEVIN has correctly resolved 13.86% of the issue without any assistance, compared with 1.9% of unassisted and the 4.80% of assisted of the previous state of art models. In terms of performance, DEVIN AI is capable of augmenting or increasing the efficiency within the software development process by automating the repetitive tasks, instantly generating code, expediting project timelines, cutting down development expenses, etc. And one of the most notable facets or the characteristics of the DEVIN AI is that it is immune to human error or inconsistencies. And the AI agent is capable of guaranteeing precision and uniformity in coding practice, which can lead to development of superior quality software products. There is no information about the AI model that is powering the DEVIN AI, because the Cognition company or the organization haven't released any details with regards to the information about the AI model that is powering the DEVIN AI. So what is the challenge as well as the opportunity the DEVIN AI has? So the AI software engineer may struggle with complex requirement which requires human intuition as well as the creativity, so which the AI software engineer lacks. Secondly, it also creates a challenge of job losses for the other software engineers, but it has some positive advantage, that is, it can act as the ally for the n number of software engineers, using which new avenues of new goals could be set, as well as the new targets could be achieved. Such kind of advantage the DEVIN AI has. So these are all the advantage as well as the challenges. And let's look into Cognition, the lab which made the first artificial intelligence software engineer. So it has been head by Scott W. Cognition. His name itself been given to the organization name, and the company claims that the creation of the software engineer is the first step in the direction of creating the artificial intelligence team itself. So this is what their long-term objective is about, and this is what the analysis of the news is about. And what are the things which we needed to be further aware of? First, we should be aware of what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is Internet of Things, what is quantum computing, what is augmented reality, virtual as well as mixed reality, and then natural language, and then you should also be aware of the blockchain technologies. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Atmosphere Research Testbed. Recently, Ministry of Earth Science has set up the Atmosphere Research Testbed in the Madhya Pradesh region. So why it has been set up in Madhya Pradesh region, and what is the specialty of this testbed? These are all the things which we will be analyzing in the upcoming slides. Before that, let's look into the linkage of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to India and world geography, and under mains, it has been related with important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activities, cyclones, which comes under GS paper 1, geography. Let's look into the explanation of the news. The first phase of India's atmospheric research test bed in central India was inaugurated at Silkheda village in Madhya Pradesh. The facility houses 25 high-end meteorological instruments for studying the vital cloud process that has been associated with India's monsoon core zone. So let's look into the atmospheric research test bed. ART is an open field focused observation and analytical research program, and the facility aims to conduct the ground-based observation of weather parameters like temperature, wind speeds, and on-site observation of the transient synoptic systems like low pressure areas and depression that has been formed in the Bay of Bengal during the southwest monsoon season. And it has been developed by Ministry of Earth Science. The Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology Pune is in charge of this operation. So let's look into the importance of the monsoon core zone. So it is the zone which spans across the central Indian region, which ranges from Gujarat to West Bengal, and much of the Indian agriculture is rain bed. So as the case of the areas that has been related to the monsoon core zone. The southwest monsoon season accounts for 70% of the country's annual average rainfall, and it is also when the majority of the kharif cultivation in India has been taking place. During this season, several rain-bearing atmospheric system develops in the Bay of Bengal, and the studies have correlated there is the relation between the annual average rainfall and the average rainfall that has been taking place in the central Indian region. So that is the reason why the central Indian region, that is the Madhya Pradesh, has been selected as the destination for setting up of the studying the atmosphere, and it acts because of this feature. It acts as the natural laboratory for the scientists as well as the meteorologists to perform the study on the Indian monsoon, and they can record data and make observation about the allied system, clouds, and other atmospheric phenomena. The Silkheda Silkheda is the village in the Madhya Pradesh region where the atmospheric research setup is going to be made, and this village is falling directly in the monsoon core zone, and it is relatively free of pollutants, so which is making it suitable for the setting up of sensitive hydrological instruments and also making the observations. So this is what the speciality of the project is about. So what will the ART do? So while the IMD issues a special rainfall forecast for MCZ, there is still limited understanding about the role of this synoptic system, their associated cloud physics as well as cloud properties, and their overall role in enhancing the monsoon rainfall. With ART, the scientist will be able to generate an obtain long-term observation on cloud microphysics, precipitation, convection, land surface properties, etc. And this information will be assimilated and fed into numerical weather models to enhance their rainfall forecast, ultimately resulting in the efficiency of the farming activities in India. So what need to be studied for this? We should be aware of what is atmosphere, what are all the different layer of atmosphere, and then monsoon, how it has been formed, and what are the different branches of monsoon, and where it starts, where it ends, and what is the crops that grows during the season. These are all the things which we needed to be further aware of. Thirdly, we should also be aware of the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, which is based on Pune, comes under Ministry of Earth Science. You have to check whether it has any legal backup, or it is a body that has been created through the executive orders. Such kind of things need to be probed through. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. CUTTACK famed silver filigree work got the GI tag. So silver filigree based on the CUTTACK Odisha has got the GI tag. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to current events of national as well as international importance. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 3, Science and Technology, through a subtopic called issues relating to IPR. So this is how the news has been related with examination. Okay. Rupa Taragasi are the silver filigree works of Odisha's CUTTACK'S received the GI tag. So Rupa Taragasi, what does it mean? In Odia, Tara means wire, Kasi means design. So thus, as a part of the Rupa Taragasi, silver bricks are transformed into thin fiber wire or foils and used to create the jewelries or showpieces. So what is the origin of it? So while the exact origin of the filigree is not clear, but approximately it has been fixed around 12th century AD. And the art form received a considerable patronage during the Mughal time period. So what is the history of it is that the silver filigree work in which the people of Cuttack have attained such surprising skill and delicacy is identical to the filigree work of Arabia, Malta, Genoa, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, as well as the ancient Greek, Byzantium, as well as Etruria. And it was carried into West by Phoenicians and Arabs, and into Scandinavians by Normans, and in the coast they also have the medieval trade between the Turkestan as well as the Russia. So these are all the ways and the means through which the work has been carried on across the different part of the world. So what is the product that has been made out of it is that the iconic items are Durga Puja Meda, Odissi jewellery, religious cultural pieces that has been linked with the customs of Odisha. These are all the things, major things that has been made out of it. So what are the things which we needed to be further aware of? We should be aware of WTO's its structure, function as well as mandate, IPR policy, the FDI policy of India. So with this we have reached the end of this topic. So let's move on to today's practice prelims question. Mentioned here is the today's practice prelims question. So those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this, we have reached the end of today's session. So do like, comment, share as well as subscribe Ganesh IAS YouTube channel so that you will be receiving daily current affairs session notification and weekly environmental and science and tech notification, and also any other important notification that will be brought to you in the future by Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.